It's going to take people a minute to join us. Oh, look, I'm live. Yay. I've never done this before. Hold on. Let me copy the link. Where the fuck is the link? Hold on. So I've never done this before.
I love the way you're telling them to hold on. I think they can watch it later. So, you know.
They can watch it later. So
we had a plan, but it's the first one we've done.
We totally had a plan, and it told me, okay, show me where to find the link. Paste your live stream URL. YouTube page. Why is everything hard? Okay, Dixie, talk to them. Someone's here with us. That's awesome.
I love the fucking future.
The future is fucking amazing. What's this? I hope I don't end the stream. Oh, there, I found the link. All right, I'm pasting it onto Patreon if it would let me. Oh, copy.
Y'all have to realize we ran out of coffee yesterday and we have had nothing. So we're live streaming. We put makeup on, but we're live streaming without any brain power whatsoever. But we had an amazing time and we wanted to talk to you about
it. So real quick, I don't want to schedule this. I want to play it now. Why is everything?
This is really fun. I'm glad this is going on the internet.
I know, right? Okay, we're good now. All right. So this weekend, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Dixie DeLatour from Bawdy Storytelling. It is the original sex and storytelling series. I've been doing it for about 12 years, based in San Francisco, also monthly in Seattle, national touring, podcast. Just like her, we do lots of podcast patron rewards and things like that together. And I talked to Sunny when the announcement went out for Patreon to say the Patreon conference was coming up. It was going to be in LA November 1st through 4th. And I called Sunny and said, let's go together.
And I was like, no. I mean, not that I didn't want to go, but I was like, Ken's birthday, my partner Ken, his birthday, there's, money, it's expensive to go. This is why I have a Patreon, because people see the value in sex ed, like the knowledge value, but a lot of people don't see the monetary value in sex ed, or there's a lot of people that do see the monetary value in sex ed, but they don't have the extra money to support it. And I don't want to restrict content for people who can't afford it, because sex ed is really important. Just authenticity and talking about sex, we all need access to it. So hence why I'm broke and why I'm at Patreon learning about how to make Patreon work for me. So I was like, there's no way I can make it. And then just kind of the stars aligned, the dollar bills in my wallet aligned.
And you talked to your partner, Ken.
Yeah.
And you said, but honey, it's your birthday. And he said, no, Patreon is how we are going to fund our business, and you need to learn this stuff. So you need to go find an Airbnb with Dixie, and you guys need to go together and learn together.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Thanks, Ken.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. I love you. And for those of you who came because of Dixie, which totally sounds like this is going to be a lot dirtier than it is. If you don't know me, I'm Sunny Megatron. This is on my YouTube channel, which I've never done this before. We're learning new technology. And I am a sexuality educator. I have the show Sex with Sunny Megatron on Showtime and American Sex Podcast. So
I didn't get my card. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Bawdy Storytelling. Go look it up. And then this is me too, if you don't know me.
Yeah.
So this was the best conference? You said the best conference you've ever been to.
All right, turn it around and show them the symbol.
I don't have a symbol because branding.
This is what we went to. This was Patreon, which was the Patreon conference for people who use Patreon to learn how to get better, to give better rewards to the people who follow them, create things that people are going to want from them, and create a relationship with strangers.
Yeah.
All over the world.
Yeah. Who are a creator, you want to listen to this because we're going to give you some good tidbits. But if you tidbits, there's a pit in my shit. So if you are on Patreon, you're going to want to listen to this. If you create something and you think you might be able to use Patreon, you're going to want to listen to this. And if you have no idea what the fuck Patreon is, you're going to want to listen to this part right now. So Patreon is a platform that allows people that create, whether you create content, art, music, like anything that you create, it allows you to be funded by your fans. And it's not just like a Kickstarter where you're like, hey, I'm broke, but I like to do things that don't pay money, give me money. It's more of kind of a membership program. They sort of changed their angle. So if, let's say for my Patreon, you go in at $3 a month, you get American Sex Podcast stickers sent you in the mail with a nice little note. You get all of our episodes early before the rest of the world. You get Patreon only posts and special audio from our guests that nobody else gets to hear. And then like if you're at the $10 level, you actually get full length bonus episodes. Like me and Dixie have done episodes together, and there's other things. So it's like different levels you can sort of buy in to support the creator you love and actually get stuff. So it's really freaking cool. So they had this conference, and yeah, it maybe is, I think, the best conference I've been to too.
It's the best conference I've ever been to. Because, I mean, you know, you go to these things and they say, we're going to talk about authenticity and transparency. And I'm in storytelling. They use those words every third word, you know, authenticity. It has no meaning anymore. This actually was, this was the most authentic gathering of people I've ever met. I mean, I hate to jump to the end. Can I tell them?
Yeah, jump to the end, because that, like,
I feel like yesterday afternoon was the most amazing day I've ever spent. So Jack Conte, who's a musician from Pomplamoose and Scary Pockets, he told the story on stage.
And he's the CEO and founder of Patreon.
He's the CEO and founder of Patreon. He talked about how he got the idea because he went on live on YouTube, was making a bunch, you know, was spending all this money to create these $4 and $5 million YouTube videos, and then would make like nothing, like almost nothing, no return on his money, like because big corporations are not going to support you, your fans are. So he had this idea to find a way for fans to be patrons of the arts, and he found somebody who could create it and do the code, and he talked about the whole journey to do it. And he asked us in the middle of it, like, can everyone agree that they're not going to record this? There's going to be no recordings of this conversation because I'm going to tell you some really personal stuff. And then he bared his soul and talked about how hard it's been, the journey, like from wanting to create art and not being able to continue doing it.
Yeah.
Because you got to get a corporate job and you've got to work and you've got to create something for, do we want everything in the world to be a Carl's Jr. or a McDonald's? No. Art saves your soul.
Yeah.
Going to listen to sex ed podcasts and knowing you're not alone in the world. Like, I get emails every day from people who go, I never knew that we were allowed to talk about this.
Yeah. It was like, I'm starting to cry because he cried, the audience cried. We were like, holy motherfucking shit. And, you know, one of the things that he really drove home was, especially in this day and age, and especially for people, oh, wait, we're both so pretty. Oh, we're getting comments. I didn't know there were comments. Thank you. Anyway, so actually was talking about my tits.
Yeah. I've been sharing an Airbnb with them tits. You know what? There's some internet lore about them tits, and I understand it so well.
Yeah. So, especially in this day and age, for people who create, you know, edgy content, you do storytelling about sex. I do sex ed, which includes a lot of authentic conversations about sex and sexuality, people kind of processing their identity or learning things, or actually the mechanics of here's how you find the G-spot, here's how you da-da-da-da-da.
And you do great interviews with people on your podcast where they talk about body positivity.
Right.
And like they're telling their story on your podcast.
Right. And in this day and age, especially with Sesta Fosta, and I'm not going to go into what it is, but Google Sesta Fosta or listen to our American Sex Podcast episode with Kitty Stryker where we talk about it. The platforms are restricting the type of content you can use. So perfect example, YouTube right here has demonetized all of my videos. If you're like, you know, you haven't put a video out in a long time,
that's why.
Because I can't make money doing it and I can't pay the bills and feed my children on YouTube likes. Like I need to make money to create this art. So, you know, one of the things, if I get to the point on Patreon where the podcast is being funded and all my other work, maybe I will start doing YouTube videos again. But and that's why I'm on Patreon, because I need to find a way to pay for it. And most of the platforms are controlling us. So like YouTube, I'm demonetized. Facebook, I can't put ads on Facebook about my work. Every platform is like, you're dirty. We don't want to work. And Patreon is really standing up for their, you know, not suitable for work creators. Granted, there's been some bumps and hiccups, but not because they're putting the rules on us.
Because of the people they deal with payments, or because people who deal with payments are like, oh, sex, wait, shut it down.
And Patreon could just be like, wow, dealing with the sex creators is really hard. So fuck this. We're just going to take them down. And they're like, no, we're going to work to find a solution. It may not be, the best solution in the world because they have to follow the rules of what their payment processors dictate, but they're trying to find a middle ground for us, which is awesome. And for a lot of adult creators, this is one of the last ways we can make money. Like, I don't do porn. If I did porn, and nothing's wrong with porn, I love porn. That's just not what I do. Yeah. If I did porn, maybe I could go on porn websites and make my money that way. But because I'm kind of that weird in between where it's like, I'm not actually showing you my tits, I might be talking about them, but no one wants to hear me talk about my tits on Pornhub.
And we do podcasts.
Right.
And like, when you're a podcast about sex, we fall in that gray area. There's a lot of sponsors who don't want to work with us. So we can't get funded that way. So Patreon's a way for you guys to support these things that we're creating and paying for production costs and paying for web hosting and all those things. And our time.
Yeah.
How crazy would it be to get paid for the
I know.
hours and hours every week?
I make seriously like probably less than $1 an hour on a lot of things I do.
Yeah.
If that even, because it's just not making money. But this Patreon conference was fucking amazing for a lot of reasons. One, there was a lot of stuff about mental health, like creator burnout, that you're working and you're working and you're working and you're totally burning out, or you're completely stressed out, or you're stressed out about how to pay the bills, or you're stressed out about, just dealing with unruly fans or, harassment, like whatever you're stressed out about. So there was a lot of emphasis on mental health. And I think I appreciated Patreon because I come from a business background. I went to business school. I have a marketing degree. I worked at one of the top ad agencies for 17 years. And I'm really super like spreadsheet business minded. And it was a way to take creators, which may not have a business background at all, and bring them into like, here is how to think of your Patreon, or your, just what you do as an artist or a personal brand or whatever you are, how to think about it as a business. And here is business strategy, but they did it without making it like, oh God, now we're going to talk about business. Spreadsheets make me really dry in my vagina or whatever. They don't make me dry.
And it was really empowering. They're just like, yeah, you don't have a business degree, but you're smart. We know you're smart.
Yeah.
You obviously do this. You make art in the world. You're clever enough and creative enough to create something. Have faith in yourself. And we're going to give you the tools you need so that you can do your job better and create the thing you want to put out in the world, which is a dream come true.
Yeah.
Like, who gets to create art for a living?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing. And I met, and you met, we all met so many amazing people this weekend. Not only people that I knew existed, but maybe I never met face to face. Like I met Kat Black, who I love, who's a YouTuber here. Who else was there? Elle Mills, who's also a YouTuber.
Such an amazing
Oh
speaker.
my God. If you don't know Elle of the Mills. And
the Mills from YouTube.
Yeah, she had the breakdown earlier this year, and she was in all the newspapers. She was there. The Try Guys from BuzzFeed were there and gave an amazing presentation on how to create viral videos, which is like, what's that secret?
Caitlin Doty from the Order of the Good Death and Death Salon, and she's Ask a Mortician is her YouTube channel. She is so smart. Like, when you listen to her speak on stage, and then you meet her when she's off stage, and she's just the nicest person in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like meeting your heroes who are also on Patreon and also trying to make something exist, and just talking to them about your life and hearing about their life in person instead of online. Yeah.
And Jackson Bird was also there. Like, we're naming a lot of YouTubers, which is not all YouTube. Like, I don't, even though I have kind of a YouTube presence and YouTube helped propel other areas of my career, I don't really consider myself a YouTuber. Yeah. I'm not there. But maybe I would be, if the reason I'm not is because I stopped concentrating on YouTube because it just wasn't paying the bills. It wasn't, I'm internet famous, but I live in a box on the corner. That does nobody any good.
It was interesting to meet people that you're like, oh my God, you're famous and you're like a big deal. You must be rich as hell. And they just look just like you. You know, they got holes in their jeans.
Yeah.
They got a free t-shirt from Patreon, and they're as thrilled as we are. A water bottle? I get a free water bottle?
Yeah.
They're just as thrilled as we are because Patreon gave us so many goodies. And we're all broke artists, you know?
They fed us. They open
Every
bar.
day.
Like, they know how to throw a party.
Yeah,
they
last
really
night there was this big closing party after Jack Conte gave his speech and broke us all wide open. We all sat there and sobbed. We had a small sex positive meetup, and 20, just in one day's gathering, 22 people of the sex positive community who've never met in person, who've only talked on the internet and known about each other, gathered around a table and just said, go around the table and talk about what you need help with and what we can do for you. Not just like, hi, promote my shit, but like, how can I help you? Like, this was really about collaboration this year.
Yeah.
So many sessions talked about collaboration. And like Sunny and I have been collaborating together, but it's kind of like your stickers, you know, like you have the sticker idea and then you listen to Amanda Palmer's manager talk about how they give out art mail, you know, the mail art and stuff like that. And somebody's like, oh my God,
I just did that. Like, I
did that right.
Yeah. It was really validating to me to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to make stickers and maybe people will like them. And I don't know, was that even the right thing to do? And then to hear, one, get the feedback from people who are actually like loving it.
Yeah.
But two, get the feedback from people like Amanda Palmer. And I know people have their issues with Amanda Palmer, but whether you have issues with her or not, she knows what she's doing when it comes to Patreon and when it comes to crowdfunding and that sort of thing.
She's the success example on Patreon.
And, you know, just to be like, whoa, I stumbled upon the right formula without realizing I did. It was very validating to me as a business person.
And they talked about collaboration and the benefits of collaboration. And Sunny and I have been doing this Patreon reward things where we just talk like two friends. I live in San Francisco. She lives in Chicago. We just catch up and talk about our lives and the things we're trying to create. And people are listening to them. And they're seeing them as, you know, like a connection with us. And they're talking to us about what we're creating, and Patreon is giving us a platform to communicate with our fans.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a great weekend. I'm going to be following up more with, I'll probably do it actually on my Patreon. So if you are a creator, just, you know, hit the follow button on my Patreon and even on my other social media, Twitter and Instagram. Like I said, I don't come here on YouTube very much. And some of you may be watching this through Patreon, which is awesome, or you'll be watching it later through Patreon. And, yeah, I'm going to try to share as many tidbits as I can. I have a whole notebook full of notes that I
What's
took.
on the front of the notebook?
Oh, look, because AVP, always be promoting. If I could open the damn notebook. So, of course, I put my sticker on the notebook.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if you're a little on the fence, especially if you're a creator and you're like, should I use Patreon? What is this Patreon thing all about? Blah, 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 blah. Let me see. Are you making a comment? Oh, you love Amanda Palmer. Yay. Yeah. A lot of people love her, but there are some people that are like, so trying to, you know, appease everybody here. Trying to appease everybody here. But I'm going to be sharing some tidbits about Patreon. Especially if you're a creator, like I said, or if you're on the fence about should I?
There's a lot of really good. Maybe next year, Patreon, put us on stage so we can talk about our growth from right now, where we're making a few $100s a month, to like, isn't it great to have like a dream?
Yeah. And another thing about Patreon is, which I think a lot of people from the outside looking in think like, you're all about money. You're only in it for the money. Why are you, you know, first of all, it's like, if you have a regular job, you get paid to go to work. And there are basic expenses you need to, you know, have shelter and food and, you know, transportation or whatever. Not even anything fancy, but they're basic things we all need. And we live in a capitalist society, unfortunately, and we all need to be paid for the value that we give to the world, you know, at work. This is our work.
We live in the most expensive cities in the world, so that we have community to connect to, so that I can put them on stage to tell their true stories of sex.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have this community if I lived in Des Moines. It might be more affordable to live in Des Moines,
but it's not gonna.
But it's not gonna let us create the things that we're creating.
But it, you know, it's hard. It was hard for me as a creator. I had a Patreon page unpublished for years because I felt like I don't want to be looked at as someone who's just asking for money. That I thought that me having a Patreon would make it seem like I'm not doing this work because I'm passionate about what I'm doing. And Patreon had a way of integrating, and it took me a long time to mentally reckon. So I have an excellent college degree, a great work history at one of the most, one of the biggest companies in the world. I could go at any moment and get a regular job with a 401k and, making a good salary, but I don't do that because I believe in the work that I do. And Patreon really had a good way of integrating those two ideas that seem opposed with each other and make me feel like I'm an asshole for asking for what I'm worth or trying to make money, and integrated them in a way where it's like, no, I'm not just begging for money. I'm providing added value to people who really enjoy my work, who want extra things, who are not even that recognize that the value of our work, but are financially able. Because I recognize there are a lot of people that recognize the value in our work that aren't financially able. We live in this horrible fucking economy, this capitalist society where most of us do not have enough money to buy the things we want to buy or support the things we want to support.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying if you don't support me, you don't think I'm valuable. That's not the case at all. But it was a whole weekend of kind of integrating those ideas where they didn't oppose each other and they made sense. And it also made me not only see the value in myself or us see the value in the work that we do, made me see the value in you as listeners, as fans, as supporters that
the way they talked about you guys.
Yeah.
Like the supporters of the people who are on Patreon, they just like these people love what you're creating. Like it feels so good to be reminded of that.
Right. And also it made me, when I think that way, that again, those opposing ideas go, but does that mean I don't value the people that don't support my Patreon? Absolutely. I value you just as much, but again, you may not be financially able to. Maybe you don't want to. Maybe you support me in other ways. Just being a fan, just telling one person, hey, have you listened to her podcast? Have you watched her TV show? Or retweeting one of my tweets, that is valuable. And like all of your support, no matter how you support me or us, it's valuable in its own way. So I want to stress that it's not all about money. And
it's not every single time that you see, like I do live stage events. Every time you see there's a show coming up that you tweet about it and say, I love this show. You should go see it. Listen to their podcast to understand what they're doing. Every time a fan does that, it makes our lives, like promoting yourself is hard. It's just this constant, like, okay, I do a thing. Yeah. I'm still talking about the thing.
Yeah, and we can't do paid advertising on most platforms. Like I can't do paid advertising on any platform. I think you might have a couple that you can, but it's difficult. So we rely on you to spread the word. And I think Patreon really put that in perspective for me. So when I'm talking to you, I don't feel like I'm alienating other fans that maybe aren't patrons. That I have gifts to give all of you, and you all have gifts to give me. And maybe those gifts are different, but they're all valued and appreciated. Yeah.
It felt good to spend 2.5 days just being reminded that, like a good conference recharges you and lets you go back into the world and feel like I can keep doing this for that much longer.
Yeah.
And when you burn out, sometimes you just go, I don't know how much longer I can do it.
Yeah.
Then you get recharged and you go, I'm going to keep making podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep making TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to give people something that makes them realize this, terrible political environment we're in. You got to have hope. And seeing the things that you want in the world, knowing that they exist and that they don't go away, that gives you hope.
Yeah. Now you're going to make me cry.
I'm a giant baby.
You're going to make me cry.
Oh my God. That man's ending, the ending note of that conference, I bawled all the way through it.
Oh my God, yes.
Sunny at one point said, like we kept doing standing ovations. At one point, Sunny was just like, we're the only ones standing up right now. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
She goes, I don't care. I'm still getting a standing ovation. It was awesome. But
Jack Conte, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this conference.
You're fucking amazing. So
Patreon, the staff, Sarah Rose fucking rocked that event. Like she was the part of the Patreon team that put together PatreCon and looked like a fucking supermodel last night at the after party.
Yeah.
So hot. And had been working her ass off for how long, who knows how long. Every single thing that you could have wanted at a conference.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you're like, oh, I need a granola bar. Or, oh no, my dress broke. I need a safety pin. Or I need a hair tie.
Oh,
or,
they had like a little station of like hair ties
everything.
and antacids and, you know, anything you could need, little snacks, Band-Aids.
Emergency.
Yeah.
Tampons and pads in the bathroom. Hand lotion. Like, you're sitting there going, I feel like I want to be my critical self. And I want to go, they're going to ask for feedback for what could they do a little bit better next year. I'm going to, there's not a fucking thing.
Yeah.
There's not one thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, we always want to go, oh yeah, well, you could have done this a little bit better. But there was not one thing that wasn't provided.
It was amazing. Yeah, I will say one thing, and I think they're working on this for next year, is gender neutral bathrooms.
Yes.
That would be like seriously the only thing that but I'm not like, I fucking hate you, but work on that. Let's work on that for next year.
The venue was a little too echoey because I kept wanting to record, like voice memo record, so that I could be in the room and listen to the speaker rather than copious notes and stuff like that. The venue was really echoey, and a lot of people were talking about that. But that's not PatreCon's fault. That was just like
the venue.
That's like the only thing that you could really say. Those two things. Everything else was perfect in every way. I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to conferences. It's one of the reasons I asked you to go with me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, I usually go to conferences and they're businessy businessman. And they go, what do you do? And I go, I do a sex and storytelling series. And they're like, well, hello, Warren Church. Welcome to the conference. We're all going to give you the cold shoulder.
Right.
And nicest people I've ever been. 350 people and the nicest people you've ever met.
You know what the cool thing is? I met people to collaborate with that I would have never met otherwise, that I would have never thought. Like, we collaborate, like we met one person who was, she does financial plan. I can't remember, her name is Patrice, and I can't remember her. And she has a podcast, and I'm so sorry. I'll type it. Seeking wisdom. Yeah. And
or Seek Wisdom.
Yeah. Seek Wisdom and a couple of letters.
And her name is Patrice.
Yeah. And we start talking about, you know, financial independence and money that she works on people's money problems. And, you know, psychologically, why do you have a problem with money and budgeting and this and that and this and that? And I'm like, my first thought is that has nothing to do with sex. And then I was like, wait a minute. Money is a huge issue in relationships. And if you have tension with your partner, that affects your sex life. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we can collaborate, and you know, so we're going to be in touch and do something together.
I was talking to some graphic artist who's talking about making me into a comic. I love being comics. If you're an artist, I love being art.
Yeah. So, you know, and the same goes for anyone listening who wasn't at PatreCon. I'd love to collaborate. Do I have time to collaborate with everyone? No, unfortunately, I don't.
But it gives us a chance to create new things.
Exactly.
With other people creating new things.
And I like collaborating with people that aren't like, and not that I don't love you, you're another sex podcaster, but I'm not going to only collaborate with other sex podcasters, because there's a lot more. I'm multidimensional. The world is multidimensional. And a lot of what you and I teach and promote is that when we all boil ourselves down to our lowest common denominators, we're all really similar, and we're all, you know, we all wonder, are we normal? We're all have like the same basic stressors, the same basic anxieties, and we all just want to feel like A, we're normal, you know, B, we're loved, and C, we're going to be okay no matter how weird we are. And I think that's our universal message. No matter what we, you know, like the dude who makes videos about rockets, and like we, you know, when you boil things down, we're all kind of looking for the same stuff. Yeah.
We just want to express our true selves. We're just going to go, this is me. This is what I'm passionate about. I want to show you why it's cool.
Right.
That's what creating is. I've got this thing I love. Let me show you why it's cool.
Yeah.
Here's what I do with it. And then people go, this is a thing. And you're like, it is now. You just joined on.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go. We're going to have breakfast, and I'm going to go to the airport.
I'm going to take her to Home State, which has bread. You can dip. They give you a little cup of homemade queso, the most amazing queso, and you could dip your breakfast burrito in the queso. It is the messiest every time I come to LA, I'm like, I gotta have home state. And then you're gonna fly back to Chicago.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna like crush it and kill it and give you guys good things to crushing and killing. It sounds bad, but it's actually a good thing.
Violent.
It is.
You gonna fuck it?
Yeah. Why don't we change the expression that instead of crushing it and killing it, I'm gonna fuck it. I'm gonna fuck the shit out. But fuck is a bad thing. See, this is the problem. This is why we do the job we do. Why is fuck the bad thing, but killing it is the good thing?
That's a good question.
Yeah, exactly. Because violence is okay, but even some tender loving lovemaking is bad.
I love that you're this like, and you're also a giant hippie at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
Tender loving lovemaking.
I'm gonna drive back to. I'm gonna hang out with a friend for a little while, and then I'm gonna drive back to San Francisco from Los Angeles, and I'm gonna have this nice long, not on a plane, just a chance to think about everything I heard this weekend and all the people I think, and just kind of get blown wide open, and maybe I'll listen to your podcast.
Oh, yeah.
That's so good for my brain.
Yeah. All right. So, where do we find you on Patreon?
You find me on Patreon, patreon.com. That's not how you spell Patreon. That's Patreon. Oh, no, it is.
It
isn't.
It's here.
No coffee. What did I say?
Bawdy, right there.
Yeah. Bawdy. And I have a podcast. I have live stage shows. San Francisco, Seattle, one coming up in Brooklyn, and YouTube, all those things, Bawdy or Bawdy Storytelling.
Yeah, and I, American Sex, so patreon.com/American Sex, or just go to americansexpodcast.com or find me, Sunny Megatron, which I'm just SUNNY Megatron every fucking where. So thank you. And I will update you. I'll give you some more like specific tidbits and like the little important things I wrote down. Maybe I'll like post a few on my Patreon, like, you know, a couple times a week. I'll be like, here's a little fucking tidbit from the, you know, how to collaborate session or something.
And can I just say, as a final note, I was really nervous about spending 3 days with somebody I like so much.
Yeah.
Because you and I spent, we are like sisters separated at birth. Like, we've never stopped talking this long. We're just laying in bed in 2 queen-size beds next to each other in an Airbnb, just talking like, never got tired of talking to each other. So similar.
Yeah.
Grew up poor as hell. Don't believe there's money in the world for what we do. But Patreon, you're helping us believe.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Okay. You sure you want to end your stream? Yes.